Hello everyone. Welcome to English class. I am Madhujayaraj, Head of English Department, Soundarya PU College. And today I am going to discuss on direct and indirect speech. You must know that indirect speech is also called reported speech. And here there are two ways of relating what a person has said, that is direct and indirect speech. And in direct speech, we report the original speaker's exact words. I repeat once again, in direct speech, we report the original speaker's exact words. You know that when a conversation has to happen means there are two persons are required. One is speaker and another is listener. Now let us see in this example the sentence, Mary said, I have lost my umbrella. So in this sentence, Mary is the speaker and the rest of the thing is her words that I have lost my umbrella. And where do you find direct speech is also very important. We found direct speech in conversation in books, plays, and in quotations. Yes, of course, you may have seen in the dramas or so-called the plays, so you are going to find more and more such kind of the direct speech or the sentences. Likewise, as I already mentioned that indirect speech is what is called reported speech. In indirect speech, we give exact meaning of a remark or a speech without necessarily using the speaker's exact words. Here what we are going to do means, we are not exactly going to change the complete sentence. Retaining that sentence, we are going to change a few of the things here. I will tell you in the later part what are the things that are going to be changed when you are going to transform from direct speech to indirect speech. Let me take the same example over here. Mary said, I have lost my umbrella. And this is in direct speech. If the same sentence would be changed into indirect speech, so then, Mary said that she had lost her umbrella. So you can easily notice that the meaning has not changed here in this sentence. Okay? See, for example, here, Mary said, and while changing into indirect speech, you must be very careful that not to use punctuation marks such as commas or inverted commas. And till now you just come to know about how to define or how to understand the meaning of direct and indirect speech. And the most important thing is here, like you have changed the pronoun here and change the verb and one more possessive pronoun, that is my. There are certain basic rules you need to follow when you have to transfer from direct speech to indirect speech. Let us see which are those changes here. That is what I am talking about. We have to make three necessary changes, such as change of pronouns, adverbs. Adverbs are also called adverbials, and the last one is tense. Let us go one by one. The first change is change of pronouns here, and you need to make two columns. One is direct speech and another is indirect speech. So as I told you in the beginning that there are two persons are needed to build a conversation. One is speaker and another is the listener. So we have 5 speaker pronouns here, equally 5 listener pronouns. So let us come to this point, right? Which are those 5 speaker pronouns and how that are going to be changed in indirect speech. So first one, I should be changed to he or she depending on masculine gender or feminine gender. And I always comes in the subject place, so you need to use he or she. The second one is me, that always comes in object place, so that's why you need to use him or her. Likewise, my, his or her, mine, his or hers, myself, himself or herself. So these are the 5 speaker pronouns. That is very easy to remind or remember or recall. Here I will repeat: I, me, my, mine, myself. So this is how you need to practice. In the same way, there are 5 listener pronouns here. And the first one over here, you, right, which comes in subject place, then you need to change it into he, she, or they. So they, you know that if it is plural, then you need to use they. You also comes in object place. So here you have to notice the change here where you are going to get confused. You, if it comes in object place, then you need to change it into him, her, them. I repeat, you comes in object place, then you need to use him or them. Again, them is used in plural. And whereas your should be changed to his, her, or their. And the next one is also like this: yours, his, her, theirs, and yourself, himself, herself, and themselves. Or for plural, you can also use themselves. Next one is we must be changed to they, plural form. So us should change to them. So likewise, or their, ours, theirs, ourself, themselves, ourselves, themselves. So these are the 16, right, that words that will come as pronoun. So where you need to change from direct speech to indirect speech. And the next important change is change of adverbials. Again, you need to make 2 columns and you need to follow, so the changes occur here. First one is ago, that should be changed to before or earlier. Anyone you need to use thus, so, this, that, these, those, here, there, now, then, and the very, very important thing I just wanted to tell you here, it remains it. Sometimes I might have also noticed that you may go wrong here. So suddenly you using it, so instead of using it in indirect speech, you may go with that. Okay, so again I am telling you that it will remain as it. The next one is today, that day, tonight, that night, tomorrow, the next day, yesterday, the previous day, last night, the previous night, last week, the previous week, last month, the previous month, last year, the previous year. And the next change is here. You know, tomorrow is there, then you need to write the next day. But think if they might have asked the next day in that question. So here lies the very, very important change. If they have asked the next day, then you need to use the following day. It is not like the previous day like that. Next, the next night, the following night, the next week, the following week, the next month, the following month, the next year, and the following year. So again, here also you need to write, follow the changes over here. What you need to do means, if you just see the video or the slide, you are not going to able to understand. So what you need to do is, you need to write it down and you need to practice. Only practice can just make you to follow the right order of this. So we shall move to the next change, that is change of tense. So how you need to change, right, tense form from present tense to past tense. Here you must also know that all the corresponding present tense form of the verb must be changed to past tense form. So in that we have divided into two. One is primary auxiliaries and secondary auxiliaries. And in the primary auxiliaries, so here present tense form, that is singular form of the verb am or is, in indirect you need to use the present tense singular form, that is was. Meanwhile, are is the present tense plural, so that's why you need to use was or were. You may again have a doubt in your mind, or you can use only were. Why we have to use was? I will tell you. If in the given sentence the subject is singular sometimes, so then you need to use was. If the subject is plural, so then you need to use were. And another important change here is was or were, right? Then you need to change into had been. Why actually you need to use had been here means, till now I just discussed only about the present tense form should be changed into past tense. Then how about the past tense? When you are going to change the past tense form of the verb, so then it should be past perfect form. So when you are using past perfect form, so this is what you need to use, had been. So you must be very careful once again over here. And next is has or have. So then past tense form of has or have is had. And in some cases has or have done. So then definitely that is going to be changed to had done. So again here do or does. So then definitely you need to use did as its past tense form. And one more important change here, if did is there in the direct speech, please note down, right, see it carefully, you need to use had. So this is what all about the primary auxiliaries. And next thing is the secondary auxiliaries. They are also called modal auxiliaries or modals. And here they are not going to show any such kind of present tense or the past tense. These modal auxiliaries, they just talk about the manner. They are not going to talk about tense like present tense or past tense, present time or past time. See for example here, will changes to would, and shall. One more very important thing here is you need to use should or would. Preferably you need to use would if shall is there in the question. And can, right, then you need to change it to could. May should be changed to might, and the last one, must, should change to had to. This is the very important things that you need to follow, especially if you want to write right answer for the questions that are going to be asked in the examination. As I would refer you that Please, after saying this, you need to write it down in your notes, and then you need to practice. No problem if you by heart it as well, but the thing is, better if you want to remain in your mind for a longer time, so then I would refer you to just write and practice it. Till now, you have come across the three necessary changes that are going to take place when you are going to transform from direct speech to indirect speech. And the next very important thing is, you must know here all the corresponding present tense form of the verbs must be changed into past tense form. Let us go one by one. See here, direct speech and indirect speech, where simple present will be changed to simple past. For example here, he said, I never eat meat. So this is the simple present tense form. So this has to be changed into simple past in indirect speech. Then it becomes, he said that he never ate meat. Notice the change here, I has changed to he and eat has changed to ate. And in the second case, present continuous form will be changed to past continuous form. Example here, she said, I am waiting for bus. This should be changed to past continuous tense. Then she said that she was waiting for bus. I am waiting, she was waiting. Present continuous to past continuous. The next one is present perfect must be changed to past perfect. Example here, she said, I have found a wallet. Then it must be changed to, she said that she had found a wallet. Have found and had found. The next one is present perfect continuous will be changed to past perfect continuous. For example here, he said, I have been writing a letter. Then it must be, he said that he had been writing a letter. So have been changed to had been. Up next is simple past will be changed to past perfect. Very, very important thing. You have to notice here, simple past will be changed to past perfect. For example here, he said, I took it home with me. So which is actually shows the past tense form here, took. So then obviously it is going to be changed into this form. He said that he had taken it home with me. So here past tense took has changed to past perfect tense had taken. And the next one is future tense will be changed to conditional. Example here, he said, I will or shall be in Mysore on Monday. If it would be changed to conditional, then he said that he would be in Mysore on Monday. Right? Shall or will be can be changed to would. And the last important thing is future continuous will be changed to conditional continuous. For example here, she said, I will or shall be using the car myself on the 24th of this month. I repeat, she said, I will or shall be using the car myself on the 24th of this month. So then they should be changed to conditional continuous. Then she said that she would be using the car herself on the 24th of that month. You have to notice the changes here. Will or shall be changed to would, and myself becomes herself on the 24th of that month. Okay, if you learn the three types of changes, that doesn't mean that you have learned. So till that you have learned halfway. And the next part is change of or types of sentences. Here, mainly there are 4 types of sentences here. Right, in that speech, they are going to ask. First one is assertive sentence. Second one is interrogative sentence. Third one is imperative sentence. And fourth one is exclamatory sentence. Let us know one after the other. And the very first one is assertive sentence. Let us know what are assertive sentence. These sentences are in the form of statements, mainly affirmative sentences and negative sentences. Affirmative sentences are also called declarative sentences, or right, positive sentences, and negative sentences will have the negative words. And what are the rules that you need to follow when you are going to change the sentences from direct speech to indirect speech, especially under assertive sentence? First one is reporting verb said is used. And the second one, conjunction that is also used. And the next one, inverted commas are not used in indirect speech. Okay, though I am just discussing under assertive sentence, you should not use any such kind of the punctuation marks when you change that sentence into indirect speech or reported speech. Let us see the example over here. First example, John said, I am going to my hometown. And you know that it is very easy that a given sentence is in direct speech where it carried commas and inverted commas. And the meanwhile, you know that how I should identify the given sentences, whether it is assertive, interrogative, imperative or exclamatory. But I will give a hint over here. They are mere statements. They are not going to show any such kind of exaggerations, or they are not going to give any such kind of the commands, or it demands any such kind of request or like that. They are just in the form of mere statements. So that's why it is very easy to identify you as well. So if we transform this sentence to indirect speech, so then the answer is, John said that he was going to his hometown. So please observe the changes here. John said, according to that, reporting verb said is used. The same is used here. And instead of commas or inverted commas, you need to use conjunction that. And here, pronoun I. I is the speaker. Speaker is John. So then here you cannot use John again, because you need to use pronoun. As John is masculine gender, so then you need to use he. And am going is a present continuous form. As I told you, present continuous should be changed to past continuous. So that is what happened here. Am going has become was going to. So here my has changed to his possessive pronoun, his hometown. So this is how you need to change the sentences to indirect speech or reported speech. And in the second example, Mary said, I have exam today. The same thing here. You need to carry Mary, and said will remain same here. And again, you should not use commas or inverted commas, but instead that is used. And here I has changed to she. Can you tell me why I has changed she here, where I has changed he in the first sentence? I will tell you that Mary is feminine gender, so that's why you need to use she, right, in place of I. And again, have is the present tense form of the verb, so that's why you need to change it to had exam, and today is the adverb, right? You need to check in the table which I had already given, so then today will change to that day. Right? I think it is very much clear to you. And here the next type of the sentence is interrogative sentences. What is actually interrogative sentences? The sentences which has details or information. While reporting questions in indirect speech, we use WH words such as what, why, when, whom, who, where, which, whose, and how. An odd member we are going to use here. Questions may be asked in two ways, one using WH words, another using auxiliary verbs. And I told you here how is an odd member. So why I have called how as an odd member means this word is not started with WH, but instead it has started with H and HOW. So that's why I have used how as an odd member. So how can be used here for just how far or maybe how long. How long refers to time, whereas how far refers to distance. And the other important thing is here, reporting verbs such as asked, inquired, wanted to know, and questioned is used. Out of 4, you can use only one reporting verb. I repeat, either you should use asked, inquired, wanted to know, or else questioned. And another important thing you need to follow here is do not use the conjunction that. That can be used in assertive sentence but not in interrogative sentence. Very important thing here. And the next thing is when the sentence starts with WH word, then it will remain same. Very, very important thing here. If any sentence, you know that questions or the sentences, especially interrogative sentences, start with WH word, but if they start with WH word, then it will remain same. And how you will find out that given sentence is in interrogative form? Very easy, one thing, either it will start with WH word or auxiliary verb and along with question mark. Very, very easy to identify, right? It will carry question mark. If we discuss the example on that, so then here, first example, John said, where is the post office? Right? John, he wants to know where post office is asking the question. So that is what actually the sentence started with, where, that is one of the WH words. And answer for that is John asked. Remember here, you should not use said as the same here because you are dealing with interrogative sentence, not with assertive sentence. So you must be very careful here using the reporting verb. Instead of said, you need to use right, asked. Right, asked me where, right, it will remain the same, where the post office was. Here you need to shift the verb where it has come here, but while you are changing into indirect speech. Second example here, Mary asked me, who was that fantastic man? Then again, if you change into indirect speech, Mary asked me who that fantastic man had been. So maybe again get confused here that why we have to use had been. Right? Past tense form, was is used here. So that's why you need to use, right, had been. Past tense form of the verb should be changed into, right, past perfect. So this was changed to had been. We can also frame questions using auxiliary verbs. See, for example, here questions can also be framed using auxiliary verbs such as am, is, are, was, were, has, have, had, do, does, did, where all these are primary auxiliaries. In the same way, can, could, shall, should, or would, will, would, may, might, must, had to, these are all called secondary auxiliaries. What I am trying to tell you here is we can also frame questions using auxiliary verbs such kind of these. Here, if the sentence starts with any auxiliary verbs, then we have to use if or whether. This is the condition for the questions which starts with auxiliary verbs. Let us go to the example here. Peter said, "Are you coming to college today?" So here you can find this arrow marks. You can also make use of in your writing. If this sentence would be transformed to indirect speech, then Peter asked if he or she was coming to college that day. Right? You need to shift this R to use place and you to ask place. And one more example here. Meera said, "Can you lend me your laptop?" Once again, you need to make the shift of changing that verb and the pronoun. Answer is, Meera asked whether he or she could lend him or her his or her laptop. The third type of the sentence is imperative sentences. In reporting commands and requests, the indirect speech is introduced by reporting verbs such as commanded or requested. So here also it is very easy that you need to identify the given sentence is whether it's a command or it is a request. And very important thing here is conjunction that is not used. I repeat, conjunction that is not used, but very, very important thing is that you need to use preposition to. So you can see here the example. He said to her, "Get out of my sight." So here, after reading this sentence, you might think about whether that is a command or it is a request, depending on the tone of the speaker. So then definitely it must be a command or an order. Answer is, he ordered her to get out of his sight. Okay? He ordered her to get out of his sight. So when somebody call you that or tell you get out of my sight, means that doesn't be a request. So you need to use the reporting verb, right, order instead of said. And to preposition is used, whereas masculine gender, right, so you have to use his as possessive pronoun. Second example, he said to her, "Help me in solving this problem." Right? So how can you know the tone of the speaker here? Nothing but help me. Help me doesn't mean any such kind of command or order. So definitely it is a request. So if you want to change the sentence, then he requested. Right? Instead of said, you have to use requested. Her, again to preposition is used. Help him in solving that problem. He requested her to help him in solving that problem. Right, to preposition is used. Help remains same. Right, me changes to him in solving this is again the change you need to notice. This has to be changed to that. You have noticed in the adverbial table. Okay, this problem changed to that problem. So this is what all about imperative sentence and the changes you have noticed. The last and the very important type of the sentence is exclamatory sentences. What are these exclamatory sentences? Right, exclamatory sentences, they will have certain feelings, evoke of certain feelings and emotions. So here, words such as exclaimed or wished or used as reporting verbs or reporting words. Very important. Here you need to use either exclaimed or wished, used as reporting verbs. Conjunction that is used till imperative sentence and interrogative sentence, I told you that not to use that, but that is used in exclamatory sentence. Next one, change the sentences, whether it is compound sentence or the complex sentence, right? You have to change into simple form, that is a simple sentence. Next, if the question starts with WH word, then we have to use the adverb very. This is also very important. If any sentences start with right WH word in the exclamatory sentences, then you need to use very. And it is also very easy to identify the given sentences in exclamatory form as the sentences carry exclamatory mark. Here, he said, "How lucky I am." Right? This is where you are going to find the exclamation mark. Right? So you are going to just have some emotion. The answer is, he exclaimed. Right? Said is there. It should be changed to exclaimed, and that conjunction is used, that he was very lucky. So again, you no need to use either it is WH word or how, right? You have to, right, come from here. Okay? As he, I changes to he, and present tense form changes to was. He was very lucky. Right? As how will also come to the category of WH word, so then you have to use very as adverb. Second example, Stephen said, "What an interesting character I met." Right? Stephen exclaimed that he had met a very interesting character. So here you find that WH word is there, so that's why you need to use very. So again you need to take here, right? You cannot use Stephen exclaimed that he had met what an extraordinary, right, or interesting character he met. That is wrong. The right way of writing answer for this question is Stephen exclaimed that he had met a very interesting character. You need to change or take or consider from here. I write met. Met is a past tense, so that's why I used he had met. Past tense should change to past perfect. So this is regarding all mainly four types of sentences. You need to go through one after the other, and the very important thing is you need to know what are the right reporting verbs and the changes you need to make in the different types of the sentences. And very carefully you need to use this. And one example relating to your syllabus, that is from Sunday morning. I have taken one example over here. The example is like this: Donna Laura, look out. Right? Look out. It's a surprise. So that's why. So here it is exclamation mark used. Okay. Don Gonzalo. Right? Are you speaking to me, Senora? Next. Donna Laura, yes, to you. Don Gonzalo, what do you wish? Donna Laura, you have scared away the birds who are feeding on my crumbs. So this is the tone, right, in that drama or the play, A Sunday Morning. So here the conversation happens between Donna Laura and Don Gonzalo, the main characters in that play. And first and the foremost thing what you need to do is, when a question has been given in the question paper, what you need to do is, the very important thing you need to do is, first you need to underline which are the things that are going to be changed, and you also need to know what type of the sentence are they. Here, first one, as you know that, Donna Laura, look out. It's a surprise, or just wanted to drag the attention, so that it carries exclamatory mark. So then you need to understand that this is the fourth type of the sentence, that is exclamatory sentence. Whereas the second sentence, Don Gonzalo, are you speaking to me, Senora? So this is the question, that is the second type, that is interrogative sentence. And meanwhile, you need to know that question has been framed here not using WH word but using auxiliary verb, that is are. You know, right, what are the things you need to follow when you are going to change. So these kind of the sentences. And the next one is yes to you. So pretty ordinary here. There is no any such kind of argument over here, and that makes it a first type of sentence, that is assertive sentence. Up next is Don Gonzalo. Don Gonzalo, what do you wish? Right? So question mark is there and WH word is there. Definitely that falls to second type of the sentence, that is interrogative sentence, yes. The next one, Donna Laura, you have scared away the birds who are feeding on my crumbs. And the last sentence is also in assertive form. And you also need to mark it down the changes over here. Right? The first sentence here, you just mark it down, right? Not to use exclamation mark in the answer. And whereas you come here, you need to underline are, you, and me. Senora doesn't mean that is a separate lady over there. Senora, nothing but Donna Laura. Right? Senora, here nothing but mistress. And you need to underline this too, and you need to make a shift over here. You need to put the arrow mark, that is shifting of that verb to this pronouns place and pronoun to verb place. This shift you need to make it down, put the arrow marks over here. And next is Donna Laura, right? Yes to you. Yes, you know that it is positive or affirmative, so don't just write it yes over there. And again you need to mark it down you, that has to be changed, and you is in object place. Keep it in your mind. Next, Don Gonzalo, what do you wish? Again, here you need to underline, right, do and you. And again you need to make a shift here, right, you and do. And it is very easy to identify the given sentences, interrogative sentence, whereas WH word is there, and once again question mark. The last one is Donna Laura, you have scared away the birds who are feeding on my crumbs. So, right here you need to underline you, and again have, and were, and again my. So these things, no problem. You can spend little time over there, write all this passage on your answer script, and there you can make all such kind of the arrangements of underlining it or just putting arrow marks for these kind of the sentences when the shifting has to be taken place. No problem. You may just spend 1 or 2 minutes to write down the question on your answer script, because you need to know that you're not supposed to write anything on the question paper in the examination. So on that respect, I'm just giving the direction to you. Let us discuss the answer for this question or the passage. Right? You know that speaker is Donna Laura, listener is Don Gonzalo. So it starts like this. Donna Laura exclaimed, right? Because this is exclamatory sentence. The reporting verb exclaimed is yes. So that's why exclaimed to. To whom? Is the listener Don Gonzalo. So Don Gonzalo to look out. Okay? So you used exclaimed as reporting verb. So please don't use exclamatory mark again over here. You just need to put the full stop. The second sentence, as you know that, interrogative sentence. So then Don Gonzalo asked her whether she was speaking to him. Yes. Right, as it is interrogative sentence, then you need to use the reporting verb asked instead of said. Right, her nothing but Donna Laura, and whether, why I have used whether here, because the sentence started with the auxiliary verb are, so that's why we have to use if or whether. Say whether she was, there is a shift, you goes to a's place, or comes to you's place. So that's why she was speaking to, right, me, that is Don Gonzalo. So that has to be changed, right, to him. So again, no need to use a Senora over here. As I told you, Senora is nothing but Donna Laura. So that's why should be negated. The next sentence, to which Donna Laura said positively or affirmatively that she was speaking to him. As I told you that yes means you cannot use that Donna Laura said yes. Right? Donna Laura said positively. Yes means that is positive or affirmative. So that's why you need to use either positively or affirmatively that. Right? You cannot just end the sentence positively to him. Right? Affirmatively that she was speaking to him. Right? Where you will use the extended part of speaking to him. In the previous sentence it is already given over there. So you are going to continue the same here. Right? And here you need to observe very carefully that you is in object place. Okay, if you is there in subject place, you need to use he or she, but you is there in object place, so second person is Don Gonzalo, so that's why you need to use him. And the next here, right, maybe you may ask the question, sir, why you have used to which, right? So for the construction of the sentences, you can also make use of these kinds of the words. That's not a problem. So once again, so Don Gonzalo asked what she wished. Don Gonzalo asked what she wished. Again, I told you, you need to put the arrow mark. There is a shift. So you goes to do's place, do comes to you's place. Then Here you may have one more doubt that do, past form of do is did. Why can't I used right she right did wish? So this do joins with wish, there it becomes past tense form, that is wished. Do past tense form is did plus wish becomes wished. And the last sentence is Donna Laura replied that. Here she is replying to Don Gonzalo, and you know that you cannot use replying, but all that corresponding present tense form should be used to past tense form. So there you need to use. See whether she was, there is a shift, you goes to a's place or comes to use place. So that's why she was speaking to right me, that is Don Gonzalo, so that has to be changed right to him. So again, no need to use a Senora over here. As I told you, Senora is nothing but Donna Laura, so that's why should be negated. The next sentence, to which Donna Laura said positively or affirmatively that she was speaking to him. As I told you that yes means you cannot use that Donna Laura said yes. Right? Donna Laura said positively. Yes means that is positive or affirmative. So that's why you need to use either positively or affirmatively that. Right? You cannot just end the sentence positively to him. Right? Affirmatively that she was speaking to him. Right, where you will use the extended part of speaking to him. In the previous sentence it is already given over there. So you are going to continue the same here, right? And here you need to observe very carefully that you is in object place. Okay, if you is there in subject place, you need to use he or she, but you is there in object place, so second person is Don Gonzalo, so that's why you need to use him. And the next here, right, maybe you may ask the question, sir, why you have used to which, right? So for the construction of the sentences, you can also make use of these kinds of the words. That's not a problem. So once again, so Don Gonzalo asked what she wished. Don Gonzalo asked what she wished. Again I told you, you need to put the arrow mark, there is a shift. So you goes to do's place, do comes to use place. Then here you may have one more doubt that do, past form of do is did. Why can't I used right she right did wish. So this do joins with wish, there it becomes past tense form, that is wished. Do past tense form is did plus wish becomes wished. And the last sentence is Donna Laura replied that. Here she is replying to Don Gonzalo, and you know that you cannot use replying, but all that corresponding present tense form should be used to past tense form. So there you need to use replied or said that. He had, right, you changes to he, second person Don Gonzalo, and have changes to had, scared away the birds who. But a very important change again, one more is this where changes to had been, right, feeding on her crumbs. So once again I'll repeat the last one. You have scared away the birds who are feeding on my crumbs. Donna Laura replied that he had scared away the birds which had been feeding on my crumbs. Right? So this is how, dear students, you need to change the sentence from direct speech to indirect speech. That indirect speech is called reported speech. I wish you all the very best who are actually hoping for appearing for the upcoming second year examination. Thank you very much.